Welcome back to MSG PM presented by 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, take it to 11. Michelle there, Kaz here, and we are joined by my longtime buddy, the founder of Hoops Nation, an incredible collector and just all-around good guy, my one and only Buster Scher. How you doing, partner?
Thank you for having me. This is cool. First time in the studio.
Yeah, we've always done Zooms and V-mixes. It don't hit the same if it's not in real life.
It's a lot better.
Definitely.
So thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, brother. Let's talk about Hoops Nation, man, an incredible media company that you founded, and you've always been on the forefront of kind of what's happening in the world of tech and the world of media and other stuff, but Hoops Nation is kind of the hub of all that. Talk to me about it and how it all started.
Yeah, that's the very beginning of it. It was initially a fantasy basketball media company because I was obsessed with fantasy basketball, and major companies, only cared about fantasy football. So I was like, oh, I need to do this. So I tried it for a year, it didn't really work, and then eventually I decided I could expand a little bit more broadly, pretty much based off of one fact, and that was that the NBA was supportive of media outlets like this popping up because they thought, if this doesn't directly conflict with live TV viewership, it helps it, whereas all the other leagues shut everything down. So that's how people like myself with Hoops Nation and other things were able to grow, and eventually do things partnered with the league.
Yeah, the league has done an incredible job kind of leaning into those collaborations, I feel like, especially with the NBA. Not just Hoops Nation, though. You're also an incredible collector, as Kaz was just alluding to. So, I mean, I'm mind blown because we were talking about this just a few minutes ago. How did you first get started with your collection?
Yeah, so for most people, it starts out just for fun and just collecting the players you like and teams you like. So for me, it was baseball first, Yankees, and then it was basketball, Knicks, and then random rookies here and there that I liked. I got lucky a few times, I started buying Giannis rookie cards just because I thought it was funny how his last name stretched all the way around the back of the rookie card.
Wait, you got how many Giannis rookie cards do you have?
I bought a bunch back in the day, sold most of them, but yeah, it was Giannis, and I remember that same draft class, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I bought a bunch of both for the sole reason that I thought it was funny how their last name was so long and stretched around the back of the jersey.
How much does a Giannis rookie card go for now?
So, that specific card, a Prism rookie card in a high grade, is $3,000 to $5,000 each. But the best of the best, up to $4 million.
Wow.
That would be the one-of-one Giannis rookie logo man out of National Treasures. That would be the $4 million Giannis.
Oh,
I've been missing out.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Buster,
pretty
you talked
crazy.
about your collections usually starting from stuff you like, and anybody who follows you knows how much of a Knicks fan you are. So do you have any fun MSG collectibles that people might not expect? I know you mentioned the Giannis card, right?
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool, random MSG stuff that has actually held value beyond, the 73 and, the Knicks championship days. Patrick Ewing stuff holds up very, very well. Carmelo Anthony 62-point game, MSG debut, Everything Linsanity holds up very well. And then there are oddball ones, like, for example, the Giannis rookie card that I mentioned. His NBA debut was against the Knicks, which most people don't know, but it's funny because a lot of people bought Knicks season tickets from that season because Carmelo Anthony scored 62 points. So people bought it because of that. Giannis was a nobody back then. And then as Giannis became who he is today, that debut ticket became worth 25 times what the Melo ticket is worth.
That's insane.
So it's pretty funny.
I don't want to cut in.
No,
I'm
you're
just
good.
Super
What you
mind-blown.
got?
How do you foresee stuff like that? I mean, I know it's hard to kind of I guess it's more like a lottery just as far as what hits and what doesn't, but having a Melo debut coincide with a Giannis debut rookie game, and Giannis going on to be one of the most dominant MVP players there ever is. Is there any other stories like that where just moments sort of coincide with each other to make it a bigger value?
I mean, you look at random things like Steph Curry's first three-pointer. I mean, there are so many examples of things that weren't incredibly special at the time that then become special over time. Debuts are the most obvious ones. Records, people usually know how to expect. We knew Steph Curry was going to break the three-point record, but we didn't know Kobe was going to score 81. So, it's an interesting dynamic there on the ticket collectible front. So sometimes you can predict it, sometimes you can't. So yeah, it's a lot.
What is your favorite collectible of everything that you've collected in sports, especially though? Let's stick with sports first. What's your favorite?
Favorite sports item? I have a lot of Derek Jeter rookies, and that's
Okay.
exciting right now just because his documentary is coming out. Big, longtime Yankees fan. A lot of Melo rookie cards. Speaking of New York, but my favorite collectibles period go far beyond sports. Some of them over 100 million years beyond sports and certain dinosaur fossils that I collect and things like that. My number one item period, though, is I have a document of George Washington acknowledging that he was in debt from buying too much land.
Oh my gosh.
Buster, you know what we call this in TV? We call this a segue because we got it,
there it is,
right over
there.
here. I mean, say you just bought this George Washington written signed receipt for a bond to help him get out of his debt. He was 28 years old in 1760. How do you
insane.
even find that?
Insane.
Yeah.
We were talking about this, like, is there a paper trail? Like, how do you find something like that?
Yeah, the most important thing is verifying its authenticity, and there are experts who are able to analyze the handwriting, make sure it was in the right pen at the time. And when you're lucky, like with this one, there's a trail going back over 250 years. Based on who owned it, when it was ever sold, which auction houses sold it. But that one I bought from a gentleman named John Resnikoff, who's like the premier authenticator for that sort of stuff, and his collection is
That's not the only president either. You also have something from Abraham Lincoln as well.
Yeah, I have a perfect Gem Mint 10 Abraham Lincoln signature. I've never seen another one in the world.
Wow.
So maybe it's the only one, but it's him appointing the Postmaster General, which at the time is like being the head of text messages because there was only mail. So
Right.
It was a pretty big deal back then.
Is there any piece that you would just never sell? Like, you can't put a value on it, like it is yours, you're going to have that for the rest of your life?
That's how I feel about everything.
Everything.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, the goal is to never sell anything.
Anything,
That's
ever.
the goal.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Wow.
Nice. So let's talk about some advice that you would give to collectors out there, man. I know right now people are just starting out trying to collect things. They probably don't know where to start, how to start. What advice, what do you look for, what to avoid?
Yeah, I think what to avoid would be just to buy into the hype. Like if there's a big rookie or something like that, and you don't love them, don't buy their stuff just because everybody else is. And I would look for more unique pieces. I think that's always more fun. If it's icons, go for certain rare photos or like, just things that you don't see every day, because there are certain cards where the population of them is what they call it, how many are out there, is over 20,000. There are 23,000 Zion Williamson high-grade rookie cards, which is just a mind-blowingly high number. So my best advice in terms of staying away from that type of stuff is just to buy things that are a little bit more unique, but also just collect what you love. I think that's the bottom line at the end of the day. That's what everybody should try to do.
You're also dabbling in the Crew League. Tell us a little bit about that. What is that, and how did you get started with it?
Yeah, so they reached out to me before season 1. The concept is a artist-led basketball league where artists and their crews battle it out, for 100,000, 250,000, probably more in the future. And we've filmed. So they reached out for me to host season 1. We did it. It was a lot of fun. It was myself, Drewski, and 24K Golden, and Jack Harlow did a little bit with us. And season 2 was Drewski, Jack, and I. And then we finished season 3 a few months ago with Aiden Ross and a few awesome guest stars like Tyga. But yeah, it's been an absolute blast. Like Drake came to season 2, Chris Brown's an exec, Diddy's an exec.
Amazing.
It's pretty much like a dream basketball league. So I'm happy to be a part of it.
So cool.
Shout out to the good folks for Revolt, man. Check out the Crew League whenever you get a chance. Buster Scher, the wonderful Buster Scher, thank you so much for joining us in studio for the first time for MSG PM. New York City, don't go anywhere. We're landing this plane called MSG PM for the weekend. Catch us after the break, Michelle and Kaz and Buster. More MSG PM after the break, y'all.